Thanks, Jacob and Natalie, for joining me. I really appreciate the chance to finally do an anime podcast with two of my best friends in the whole wide world.
No problem, man. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while now.
Yeah, me too. But Isaac, are you really over Casey yet?
Casey? Psh, more like Lacey.
What does that mean?
You know, like Lacey sounds like lazy and Casey rhymes with Lacey. Anyway, I'm totally finished with that guy, and I can assure you, we will never be making podcast stuff again. Ever.
Okay, well, we just need to wait a second before we start the episode. Gotta let the AC turn off.
Oh yeah, totally. You know, Casey and I actually used to turn off the AC to record, like, all the time. It's already so much better with you guys. Like, you guys are, like, so much better than him at, like, everything. Mind Over Anime is gonna be way better than Mind Over Movies ever was.
Did we settle on that title?
Hey guys, I'm ready for our first episode of Mind Over Gaming, which by the way is going to be so much better than that dumb old Mind Over Movie show I used to do with that chump Isaac. More like Goodbye, Isaac, am I right?
What is he doing here?
This guy needs to take a shower stat.
Guys, stop fighting. We told both of you that we would do a podcast without the other, so you would both come here. This is a very serious podcast intervention.
You guys lied to me?
What the hell? I had merch for Mind Over Gaming lined up ready to go.
Don't you guys see? We brought you together so you don't need to make a new podcast. You already have one! And it's one of the best, local podcasts?
Yeah, come on, guys. Your bond over film is important to all 5 people who listen to your show. You have a good thing going.
You guys think our podcast is good?
We do. It's like pretty okay at the very least.
Well, Isaac, we have a small scrap of external validation. What do you say we get this show back on the road, bud?
Nothing would make me happier. I literally have no way to rant about movies uninterrupted for an hour straight without you.
Me neither, bud.
All right, we'll leave while you guys get into it.
No way!
No.
You aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, you guys are part of a bigger channel.
Yeah.
We're holding you hostage for now, for at least an hour.
No! Anyway, welcome back to Mind Over Movies.
Yeah.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Casey.
And we have 2 other people with us. Why don't you just say your darn names already? No.
I like being mysterious.
Never mind, it's over. No.
They're difficult guests, I tell you. We book these podcast guests. They always do this.
They always never tell us their names.
We always gotta be guest 1 and guest 2. They never have names.
Oh my god.
It's the big 3-0 with thing number 1 and thing number 2.
Yeah. Great to be here.
Oh my god, yes, it's great to be here. I'm Jacob.
Oh, you broke character.
And I'm Natalie.
Oh, was I supposed to still be in character?
You know what? It's fine. Yeah, we didn't have something I pride mind. I'm sorry. I'm cracking my
Going for it, aren't you?
Something I pride myself about Mind Over Movies on is that we never ever do like MTV drama. It's all real. No producers, no scripts, just raw talking.
Jesus Christ. That's what we're all about, baby.
Raw dogging.
You guys ever just raw dog conversation? That's like podcasts in a nutshell. Oh god.
Jesus, I'm actually crying.
We haven't even made it a minute in, guys.
We've already lost everything.
We lost it.
The structure is gone.
Oh God.
Wait,
Let's.
speaking. No, you gotta stop laughing.
I'm trying real hard.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna talk to you about stuff. Like, specifically, at this point, I usually force myself on Casey and I say, what kind of movies did you watch? What did you watch? Did you guys watch anything this week?
We watched Coco last night.
Coco. Oh,
Yes.
God, that makes
There
me
we go.
cry.
And I cried
every
for
damn
15
time.
minutes straight, and then I texted all of my grandparents at 2 a.m. because I missed them, and I was like, oh my
That's so
God,
sweet.
this movie makes me sad!
Yeah.
And I don't talk to my
I need to
grandmas
hug
enough.
my grandparents now.
I think Coco is like the only modern Pixar movie that I really give it to about. Like, truly, I think the rest are pretty average or like, I definitely think when we hit the 2010s, like that post Toy Story 3 period,
Yeah.
we've had pretty subpar Pixar movies, you know?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I think-
Coco's good and Soul.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think really just with recently, most animated movies are 3D.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't have any more 2D movies except for anime movies, which, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, I mean, even Studio Ghibli is 3D now. They put out the new movie. I can't even remember it. No one liked it, apparently.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just looked like any generic 3D movie from what I've seen, and it's not entirely enticing coming from Studio Ghibli or
No.
Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it.
Right.
I've just
I'm a
heard it both
Ghibli
ways.
guy myself.
Well, and that's not in the style of Ghibli, you know?
Yeah.
It's not the
Ghibli has
2D, like... I mean, it's in the style, but, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It's not adequate enough for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a way to put it. I do like me some hand-drawn stuff over
Yeah.
that computer animation.
Like
Anything.
hentai.
No. We had to take it
Listen
there.
here, it's
We-
art.
we have brought Isaac to the forefront now,
What?
exposing his porn habits.
No. What about you, Casey? Did you
Um,
see anything this week?
Not really. I started watching Luca, the new.
The new
newest.
Pixar movie.
Yeah.
I haven't heard great things about it.
It's just
either.
weird. I mean, one review the name. I think the New York Times review started with "Call it Calamari by Your Name."
Yeah,
was the title
that's
of that.
good.
Yeah, and there was one review on Letterboxd that was like, "My God, these fish is gay." Good for them.
Good for
But-
them.
I didn't finish it. I don't want to have any thoughts on it before I finish it, but it's okay. It's cute enough. It's definitely not. It's in a different style than Pixar's. What I normally see from Pixar, and I definitely a smaller team was working on this. Also, there's 20 minutes of credits, by the way.
Oh.
The movie says it's an hour and like 42 minutes, and then I
There's just a lot of
somehow
credits.
figured out. I was like scrolling through, and I was like, "Whoa, 20 minutes of credits. That's
Wow.
weird."
My God.
It's weird, but that's all I saw this week because I haven't had time. I've been busy, but since the last time we
Yeah.
recorded, so
So I've heard that with Luca, Disney is continuing its tradition of like not having gay characters like be in their movies. Like I really thought this one was going in that direction, and I'm surprised to hear that no openly gay stuff is happening. It's more like a metaphor if there's
Yeah.
anything there. Also, just the most minor of spoilers for Loki this week. Loki's bisexual, which is a cool element to bring to the show, but the way that Disney does it is definitely in a like we can show this in China kind of way, because he's just like, yes, I would date a dude, and then like it does not come up ever again, and he flirts with a woman the whole time. Like, let's just pretend like our show isn't like super heteronormative, and then just have like that one gay moment there and then leave it. Like,
Yeah.
Surprising enough, the best representation I've seen of like, LGBTQ plus is in anime.
yeah.
So like with Yuri on Ice and like Carol and Tuesday, and like amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, which is surprising because Japan is usually stricter on those things. Like I remember playing like, this is a bad example, but I remember like playing Persona 5 and being surprised that one of its main characters was not like a romance option. Like
Yeah.
you can't get with him, even though he clearly swings that way, and it's just like, hi, I can't believe we're still being prudes about like LGBTQ. Like it's pretty standard now. I mean, like at least being gay is. I feel I don't know.
Yeah, and it's it's awful just because it's used to appeal to a wider audience here, but it's in such a minor way that they can easily cut it. So you might as well not have it.
That's Disney in a nutshell.
In anything.
That's because all their money gets made over in China.
Yes.
We are just pleasing China, people.
I'm gonna be super boring with my films I watch. I have a free trial to Criterion Channel right now, so I've been taking full advantage of that. I watched. I know I just said everything I was gonna talk about was boring, but I watched a dope French movie called Le Samurai. Guess what that translates to?
The Samurai.
No, the shampoo. No, the Samurai.
It sounds French, honestly.
It does look very French.
Awesome. It's like this French guy is a hitman, and he gets sent to like kill this nightclub owner, and like the corrupt police commissioner is like on his trail, and he just like he's so badass. It's amazing. And it's like very clearly influenced like a lot of modern movies we've seen. Like this is a French movie from 1967, but you feel its influence in like Jim Jarmusch, like Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, like and stuff like that. Leon the Professional, like this was the first movie to have like a badass like that at the center, you know, a tragic figure almost.
Right.
That was a great movie. And I also watched My Dinner with Andre, which have you heard of My Dinner with Andre?
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah. Dan Harmon has kind of a thing for it because he has a whole episode of Community that riffs on My Dinner with Andre, and then the new Rick and Morty episode that came out was like more Dinner Andre Rick.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny, but that was really good too. Just definitely a movie where it feels like a play, you know, two people sitting across from each other and having an hour and 30-minute long conversation about life and like philosophy and stuff. But it's so good. Like, something that I can't stress enough about that movie is it feels like they stole someone's real conversation. Like, this has to be the way people talk, like the way they talk in that movie. And it was amazing to watch. That was really great. I feel like I watched something else too. I'm not remembering. I gotta go.
While you're thinking of that, I actually did watch another movie this week, and I would like to bring it up simply because it was a big movie in my childhood. I rewatched Brother Bear.
Oh yeah,
actually, literally today.
Dope.
Fuck yeah.
It was. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. I loved it as a kid. Like it was it was a big movie for me when I was a kid. But now it's like, it has a really good like. Summary story, if that makes any sense. Like if you read the summary, it's like, oh, that sounds really badass, and for the most part it is like the generic plot, but the things in between, like the actual beats, like the filler almost is what I could call it, is really generic. Especially just anything with Coda is almost cringeworthy, but the movie itself as in visually is gorgeous. Like it's definitely Disney animation 2D animation on top of its game. It's very visually stunning. It's just a lot of the middle bits in the movie I did not vibe with. But
I do remember it being kind of like slow and dragging, because isn't that that one scene where they're riding on the moose mooses, and they're singing, and it's just a whole stupid fucking bit about I Spy with I or something like that. Was that not in the movie?
That was in that was in the movie.
Okay, drag me if you need to, but the Phil Collins soundtrack is just, he didn't bring his A game. Like this was no Tarzan soundtrack for Brother Bear.
I don't know if I could comment explicitly on that as far as it being the no Tarzan soundtrack. I haven't seen Tarzan in a while.
Whoa,
Tarzan soundtrack.
Okay, you got to revisit the soundtrack.
I got to revisit Tarzan, definitely. But from a Brother Bear standpoint, it's still very, very good. But as far as like comparing the two, I definitely cannot comment on that. So definitely a movie that I remember fondly from my childhood, one that I enjoyed rewatching, but am kind of just a little sad that there were some pieces in there I don't like really enjoy anymore.
Right. Well, I did finish a movie this week.
What'd you finish?
I finished Casino.
Hey,
Martin Scorsese's.
Yeah, the
3-hour
long
fucking
boy.
Gambling epic, man. I mean, if you've seen Goodfellas, you know. Goodfellas is better than Casino, I think.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
absolutely.
it's Scorsese. It's pretty good.
The peak 90s.
Yeah.
Scorsese.
A lot of whacking, a lot of whacking people.
Oh, yeah. That part with the hammer
Yeah.
I'm thinking of right now. Oh,
The hand, and he's like,
Oh.
you either get I don't know. There's a great scene like in the first hour of the movie.
Were you about to say you either get the hammer or the hand?
No. He was like,
I want the hand, please.
he was like, you either take, he said you either take your money that your wins that you have right now, but lose a hand, or you like give us all your money and leave here, or something like that. It was really good scene.
I want a section for like almost quotes on our show, like what we think the quote is. You either live long enough to die a hero, or you die a bad guy. Wait, that's not right.
Circa 2021.
Wait a minute, that was an exact quote from the movie.
Jim Gordon, I think.
The special edition refilmed it with Isaac's dialogue to dub over.
Director's cut.
The director's cut. He heard this podcast and went, "This is absolutely amazing, pure art. I have to get this guy and dub over the scene."
Master Wang, I saw a guy with a tangerine. Anyway, some people just want to watch the world burn.
You don't seem very positive on that.
Michael Caine.
That's a pretty spot on impression. Not gonna lie.
It's pretty good.
This is my favorite one to whip out because this is not a quote from the movie, but from Muppet Christmas Carol.
What a random choice.
No, Michael Caine's the star. Kermit the Frog. Thank you for showing me the true meaning of Christmas. And Tiny Tim.
You fucking started a cold open or something like that on one of the episodes one time, and I had no fucking idea what you were quoting. I was like, he's lost it. He's gone.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we lost Isaac.
Well, we have topics today, don't we?
You scare me.
Sorry.
Yes, we do.
Sorry.
But the first topic being, you guys are like content creators now, which is crazy because, I mean, before in my life, you were just like my friends who like didn't make YouTube videos, but now you do. And that's just nuts. Like, I think you're working on your second episode of your show, Couples React, right now.
Yes.
It might come out around the time that this episode releases. So.
Yeah,
Wow.
with the unforeseeable delay, I say that in quotes because there's a long story behind all that, but the delay of Brown Table Week,
Yeah.
it will probably come out around the same time this episode does. So this is a good way to promote both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, episode 2, hopefully sometime next week. We'll see how things work out with.
We watched Shrek 2.
Yeah.
The masterpiece, the legend.
Can't wait to see that.
The best track, if
Best
you will.
Shrek. Best sequel.
Yes.
Mhm.
God, I remember going into this movie being like, I really feel like this might just be a lot of childhood nostalgia for me. So I feel like that might be what everyone's thinking about. But as soon as we dove into it, I was like, oh my God, this is really, really good.
And a lot of the jokes I
Like-
forgot about, like, because I didn't get it as a child, and I was like,
No.
oh my God.
It's not in an ironically good sense either. It's actually really
Yeah.
well done. It's crazy, and it completely blindsided me
Yeah.
specifically.
You know what they say about Shrek 2? Philosophers, they say it's not just a pool, it's a river.
I'm gonna need you to fucking stop.
Alright, Mr.
Two philosophers.
I'm a therapy major.
Therapy major. Psychology.
Psychology.
It's not a real field.
No, it's not.
Don't believe it.
Apparently.
It's a pseudoscience. No. Don't quote this. That's not what I believe.
What is this? It's a John Mulaney quote, I think. It's like,
Oh, we're gonna
jokes
get
don't
another
hold up
almost
in
quote.
court.
Love is not admissible evidence.
Well, how
Yeah. How is
Yeah.
that process going, though? By the way,
being content creators.
Definitely different from what we were expecting it to be. It's a lot more time sitting in your front of your computer editing than it is actually filming the video.
I feel that.
It's like half a day of filming, like with setup and watching the movie, and then like breakdown. Yeah, about half the day. But like with editing, it's a lot harder, a lot longer. I'm not the one doing it.
In case you're wondering who to blame for the weird editing mistakes in Couple Reacts episode 1 and 2 coming soon, it's me. It's my fault. A majority of that is editing down literally over 3 hours of footage into a 10 to 20 minute video.
Yeah, that's hard, especially because Shrek 2 has a bunch of, it's just like a bunch of great parts, and you want to include like every good scene and stuff, but it's hard to shave it down to the time that you want it.
Absolutely. A majority of my time editing episode 2 was literally just deciding what to cut.
Yeah.
There was so much usable footage. I had about over an hour of usable footage in a 3-hour long film session.
Yeah.
Of us talking and us either being funny or making a good point.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm very pleased with how the video turned out, with how episode turned out, which I hope y'all enjoy it. But I definitely had to cut a lot of content out of it to get it to its 20-minute runtime.
Right. Dang. Well, I still can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed the first one a lot.
The first one was great. I think you guys have something good. Which, I do want to ask about this. You know, what kind of factored into your decision to make like a reactionary content kind of thing? Because, like, you know, it is a pretty used genre, you know, like there's a lot of reactionary videos. I mean, we do a film podcast, so I mean, we get it.
Well, one of our reasonings was like one of the only things to do in Arkansas, like especially where we grew up, was go to the movies. And so like we would spend hours after a movie like in the car just talking about it. And so that was part of it. That was what we started out as.
Yeah, that was what we started out as, because after a while, and we decided to want to try something with YouTube and, you know, see what kind of series we could do as a couple. One of the first things that came to my mind was just our conversations in the car, like driving home from the theater. Because I remember us literally diving in depth to a lot of what made the movie good and what made it not so good. And there's a lot of fond memories with that. And after we came to that conclusion that, hey, this seems to be something that we could do creatively as a couple and, you know, get just our, you know, creative juices flowing and try to get something onto YouTube. But it kind of started changing after a while. Because it went from we can be talking about movies to how do we make this more interesting
and funny.
Yeah.
And that kind of led to more of a reactionary style channel.
Well, and Mauricio helped us come to that point as well, I think, because he was the one we were wanting to do YouTube at the first place, and we, you know, had made our own account and like we're promoting it, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to host a show on my channel?" And we're like, "Heck yes." We don't have to start from the ground? Yeah.
Yeah, it completely blindsided us, too. We were not expecting anything close to that. If anything, we were just going to hope for, hey, this is how you can improve this video or whatever.
Yeah.
And it turned into a completely different opportunity.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
definitely.
excited.
Very incredibly lucky and very, very thankful for where we're at.
Yeah. No, it's a great channel to be dropping on. I mean, like, I think that's like a content creator dream right there, is like to immediately be giving videos to like a subscriber base of like 200,000 people. Like that's incredible. Because I think one of the worst things about making art in general is like if you don't have connections, you're
exposure.
Just word of mouth is just like a hard thing to do these days. And like on the internet, it's nice to just tap into like a base, you know, you have a chance before you fail before you start, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's like each fish,
fish.
Each like content creator is like a fish in an ocean full of like people. That's what I was
It's a
trying
metaphor.
to say.
It's
That's what I was trying to say.
It's a
but
beautiful
like,
metaphor.
it's like some fish are bigger and easier to find. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, also just how the internet is these days. Everything's vying for your attention.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's what are people gonna choose? Are they gonna choose this riggedy raggedy daggedy startup YouTube channel over something that already has like several million views?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're gonna, but it's a process to find your niche, really,
Right.
because
Yeah.
there's fucking, I don't know if you know this, but this is how deep, and this is how expansive like groups go, niches go. There's a whole fan base / like channel base on YouTube of people that are into the
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs
Yeah, the-
personality test.
Right.
And they'll do
The Myers-Miggs.
Sorry. They'll do
another almost quote.
yeah, really. They'll do entire skits and like TikToks and stuff about the different personality types. It's like zodiac signs, it's like, oh, Geminis do this and you're Sagittarius. It's like INPJs or INTJs do this. It's like there's a whole thing, and it's got
You
like
almost
millions
got all
of
it,
people.
right? It's like the third letter. It's F or.
Yeah, I know, but like, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's everybody's into something, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like feet porn. I mean,
Yeah. My
Yes.
God.
Everyone is definitely into something.
Welcome to the internet.
Oh God. Quentin
but-
Tarantino. Hi.
Yeah.
holla back, girl.
Oh shit. Whew, man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to get dry mouth.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah, talking for a long period of time will do that. Which here's another question or another statement to drive your talking stuff to dry your mouth out. I was gonna say something I really like about reactionary content, or at least your form of reactionary content, is when people react to stuff these days, or they're like watching through a movie. A lot of it feels like scripted jokes, not something that's genuine and on the
Right.
spot. It's just like something someone wrote down and is now filming and producing. But like, what struck me about your Shrek video is like, it looks like you guys are watching the movie and you're just like pointing out like fun discoveries that you're getting this watching. And
Right.
it feels very intimate, that it doesn't feel like, oh, you've watched this like 3 times in preparation to make this video.
Yeah.
That's literally how we do it, though, is like we pick a movie we haven't seen in a really long time, and then we just put it up on the TV, and we like have the camera rolling the entire time, and when we find something that we have something to say about, we pause it and then just say it to the camera.
Yeah, it's definitely 100% genuine reactions. Like, there is never a point in any of those videos where we like go stop and be like, oh, we're gonna redo a bit, and
Yeah.
because that wasn't funny enough. It's 100% we watch a movie to a point, and then once we want to talk about it or say a comment or
Right.
joke, we immediately pause, and then after we say that, we get back into it.
I was gonna ask though, is there any like other like type of content y'all are like looking to make like soon? Like, are you like gonna branch out? Like, what other ideas do you have, or can you even talk about it? Like,
Well, there's a couple things that we definitely can't talk about, but there's a couple of projects that we're wanting to do in the mix. It's going to be interesting to try to find time for Couple Reacts job,
right.
social life, and try to do side content on the side. That's
Right.
just what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been wanting to do some like short film ideas, maybe try something a little bit more expansive alongside that. And
You have a whole trilogy in mind.
yeah, I do have a whole trilogy in mind.
Like that'll ever happen.
I never say never.
Never
yeah.
say never.
Yes.
Never say never. Copyright.
Yeah, stop.
Stop!
Pay with your blood.
But one thing we do want to start doing very soon, we'll have to look into it a little bit more, but we've been wanting to start a podcast for a while, and we already have the name for it too.
Gotcha.
Which we're hoping to start, and it's mostly just going to be Nat and I talking to a microphone like pretentious assholes.
Hey, that's all we do.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
But,
Yeah.
but about movies, TV shows, video games, definitely anime, because Natalie and I are both weebs. And
I'm sorry.
There we go.
I couldn't help it.
And she's so good at making
Weeb
noises. Weeb noises.
Yeah, you would know.
Yes, I would. No.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Reel it back in.
Making smut. This isn't art anymore.
But yeah, the podcast is mostly going to be a easy outlet for Nat and I to like catalog stuff in our weird stuff that happens throughout our weekly lives.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how that goes, but stay tuned for more on the Kolbcast.
Yeah.
Kolbcast. Oh, that's the name.
Kolbcast.
Yes.
Kolbcast. Can
Are
I
you
write
gonna-
the theme song right now?
Of course.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Kolbcast. It is the Kolbcast.
Oh, okay.
With Jacob and Natalie, they're married. They were not once.
That's their
They are
personality.
now.
Yes. Our adult personality.
That's
It's just
show.
they're married.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only interesting thing about us. Is
Yes,
we're
I was
married.
hanging out with my married friends last night.
Hey guys, we're married.
Yes.
And let's talk about it.
Talk about it. And watch a movie.
I would be interested to hear like y'all's when it does the podcast, because I like listen. The only podcast I ever listen to besides mine and Isaac's, because I have to.
Yeah, you do edit these things.
I do edit these things, but the only other podcast I listen to is the Super Mega Cast.
I
And-
love that
Yes.
one.
Yeah, and the thing I love about that so much is it's literally just two dudes talking about just shit. Like there's no form to it whatsoever.
No.
They sit down and they ask about each other's days, and then they just will like fucking take off into rabbit holes, and it's
Right.
just it's funny because it's so natural, and because
Yeah.
you don't go in there with a topic.
Yeah.
It's a lot different
Yeah.
than other podcasts, and I like it for that. So
Yeah.
I just really like their content in general.
Oh, yeah,
because
they're
it's
fine,
just
yeah.
it's so like what you said, it goes so easy.
yeah.
Yes. And that's why they're a clear inspiration for us to want to do something similar with their Super Mega Cast.
Right, yeah.
Because we enjoyed that form of podcasting a lot,
Mhm.
and we wanted to do it just because we have some interesting things to talk about, and
yeah,
we have
for sure.
and we make goofy remarks that some people may or may not care about.
Yeah.
Well, hey, sounds fun.
Oh man, I'm excited to dive into
I'm
it.
excited to listen.
And definitely we'll have to do another crossover with y'all.
Oh, hell yeah.
absolutely.
We love crossover events.
Yes.
You can just, I mean, we'll
Then
just label this one a crossover event.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the cold open can be that we're getting divorced.
Oh, there we go.
We can even film the pilot right now of the Kolb cast, and it be a crossover episode with you.
Oh my god. What is this? A
Put in the vault.
crossover episode?
Oh, this is one big juicy crossover episode.
What? I guess before we get into our big topic, I kind of want to know what your favorite podcasts are now. Like what's one that you really like and you listen to?
Can I give two?
Yeah, sure. Give two.
Okay, because I have a lot of favorite podcasts that I've listened to while working at Walmart.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you've got to say two because you've got to get ours out of the way, and then
Yeah.
you got to have
Actually, if I had to pick, y'all's would definitely be my second favorite, but I wasn't gonna count this.
Yeah, don't count
Because
it.
I felt like counting your podcast would have been cheeky.
I would have. Yeah, no, I would have hated if you did that.
But in all honesty,
would've
I
been
did.
flattered and-
You would have been flattered. Yeah, I definitely enjoy y'all's podcast a lot, and it's definitely one of my favorites, especially because I know both of y'all.
Right.
And it's when y'all started it while I was still working at a certain retailer. It was just such a good outlet to think about films I haven't and have seen from the perspective of
Right.
two people I know very well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do two favorites because I really love audio drama podcasts as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't want to just be like, here's a podcast with people talking about things in real life
Yeah.
and totally skip out on the
Scripted ones.
scripted ones.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to give my scripted one first because this is a podcast that I got really, really sucked into. Limetown is a very, very good audio drama. I hope there's a season 3 in the mix. But yeah, if you need some podcast audio drama material, Limetown is a really solid one.
Dope.
And my favorite just generic like talking podcast is which I do really love, Super Mega, but I also really love Bananas, which if you haven't listened to Bananas, it's a news podcast of like you would not believe the shit that happened news stories.
Okay, gotcha.
Like you would they could be like super funny, super crazy, or just so bizarre that it's a miracle that it's in a one sentence printed on paper. Wow.
Nice.
So those are two solid podcasts if you're into different things, whether you want an audio drama or a slice of life.
Listen to Bananas now. That sounds like a dope podcast.
I definitely recommend it. They're professional comedians and writers too.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I don't remember their names off the top of my head. That's why I feel really bad. But they've done a lot of stuff you've seen.
Yeah.
How about you, Casey?
Mine's Super Mega Cast, man. That's all I listen to. I
Mm.
tried. I also occasionally listen to the Karst Cast, Carson Runquist from YouTube. His podcast is good. I don't know. I just don't listen to it as much. But I mainly listen to Super Mega like all the time.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
That's a really easy one to get sucked into.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh my god.
They're fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
if y'all haven't listened to Super Mega Cast, please do yourself a favor.
It's
that
so
shit
good.
is funny as fuck. Yeah.
Yes. And there's a lot of episodes.
There's so many. They're up to
Yeah.
like 260 now, I think. So yeah, it's good.
Dude, working in a grocery store, I feel like you listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, that's
know,
what
it's
I-
really
yeah.
it's really hard to pick between a few, but I'd have to say the best one of all time is S-Town. It's a really great like it starts out where he's like going to this town to investigate like a murder that happened, and then after that, like after like 2 episodes in, it turns into something else. It's like one of the most like beautiful deconstructions of a person like I've ever seen. I think like kind of like Dear Zachary a little bit. It's amazing. It's really wonderful, and it's real. It's like a thing. Like an interviewer captured this story, this person, and it's really intimate. Like I just can't believe that this got made, you know, and it's clearly the labor of a few years of love. That's my favorite podcast ever. But then a close second, and this is a funnier one, it's called Heavyweight, and this is another investigative like journalist. He used to work for This American Life on NPR, but he finds these people with incredible stories. Like one episode is about this movie called Russian Ark, and it's like a whole 90-minute movie that's done in one shot, and there's no mistakes except for one. It's a musician who looks directly into the camera in a shot. And so what the host of this podcast does is he tracks that guy down to question him about him fucking up that movie. And then not only that, then he finds the director to ask about how do you feel that your 90-minute masterpiece got fucked up by this guy. And this is every episode as he goes to great lengths to talk to people about silly, crazy shit like that, and I love it. I think that's my second favorite podcast.
Right.
They're very close.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, you definitely got me to want to listen to that now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
What about
Dude,
you?
I'm gonna get you guys hooked on good shit. Sorry.
Well, okay, so I have a few, but like 2 of them are the same person. So Ashley Flowers, she does this thing, like 2 different podcasts. One is a crime podcast. It's called Crime Junkie.
Yes. Donna listens to that all
Yes,
the time.
I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so like it brings to light a lot of like stories that you don't know about that still aren't solved.
And they
So,
narrate
like,
it really good
right,
too.
Right. And then the second podcast, same from Ashley Flowers. It's Supernatural, and so it's about aliens, ghosts, actual stories about these things that are just like wacko bizarre. But then the third one is Hello Stranger, and it's basically a girl who she goes and sits in a park in New York City, I think, and just interviews people off the street, and they're
That's
really
interesting.
good. And it's like, you know, people from all walks of life. Like, I had cancer. You know, I'm an artist. You know, all kinds of crazy shit, and it's so interesting because it's like you don't know who these people are.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's insane.
I always like things like that, like interviewing random people.
Yeah.
Just because to get different perspectives on people and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, really cool. I'll have to check that one out. Hello, Stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm gonna listen to that one.
Interview
Definitely.
podcasts are the best kind. I mean, we're kind of getting to do that with you guys right now, but like, shit that gets like really personal. That's the best. I don't know. Like, you guys ever listen to Mark Maron? He interviews pretty much only celebrities now, but he does a crazy amount of research on them, you know, like before they come on, and so he's always got like really involved questions. Like, he got Brad Pitt to like talk about like smoking weed before going to like the Fight Club premiere. Like, you know, that's the level of chill.
Oh, that reminds me of Nardwar.
Yeah, Nardwar is great.
Y'all know
too.
Nardwar?
No,
He's this crazy ass. He's like in a character.
He's been around since like the 80s, which is crazy because his content seems like it's made for the internet. Like, he used to do it with like a camera back in the day and interview people.
Yeah, and it's fucking. He knows things about these artists that only the artist and his friends would know.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does he fucking know that? And he'd be like, he'd come out, it's like, I have a gift for you, and then give him a gift. And they're like, bro, how in the hell did you know about this? And it'd be like some like super low key EP that the artist made like fucking 20 years ago that was not being sold in stores, and he would find it. It's crazy stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, Nardwar's awesome.
That sounds insane and very, very entertaining.
Yeah, you should look him up on YouTube. Just any interview is great.
He can also really piss people off. Like, he's gotten into fights with the band Sonic Youth a couple of times. Like, there's a video of them like jumping him pretty much.
My God.
It's fucking hilarious. But
he's funny though. He never breaks character too. I've never seen him out of character.
Right.
Maybe I'm starting to think it is his character. He's just that wacky.
maybe he
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
that
Maybe.
all the time.
But
if it is a character, then he's much better at acting than me.
oh god, yeah, he's been doing it 20, 30 years. Wait, I just realized what you said. Much better actor than you. Fuck you. No. Quit being mean to yourself.
Casey with the self-love win. Anyway, speaking of love and other large topics like that, Jacob, you actually suggested the topic for today's episode with you guys.
Well, what about that segue though? Isn't that great?
That was a great
That was
segue.
good.
I love a good segue. Yeah.
So one thing that Natalie and I are really, really very passionate about is animation.
Yeah.
We love animated movies, all shapes and sizes.
All
2D.
tentacles.
Yeah, 2D, 3D,
Please.
TV
anime,
shows that are
North
animated,
American,
yeah.
France, whatever. And we wanted to talk with you guys about our personal favorite animated movies.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
See you next week.
All right.
See you later.
It was great
leave
to
our
have the
house.
Kolb cast on, but we just didn't want to talk to them.
We decided this was enough.
They didn't want to give us their names at the start of the episode. It ended pretty bad.
I changed my mind about that real quick, didn't I?
I would love
Oh my
to. I would love to talk about some animated movies and also about. Oh my god, my throat is parched.
Me too. Shall we take
Are
a
we
water
about
break?
to take a break?
Should we hit a Posy-Wazy on this?
I think we
I-
might be
I
hitting
love-
a posy one.
I love doing this because I can find copyright free like jazz music to play and shit. All right, let's cue it up.
Jacob, your favorite
What the fuck?
your favorite animated movies lie in the balance. Tell us.
All right. Do we need to set up what the rules of this whole topic's about?
Nah, man.
Just throw
Okay.
throw some
We're just
stuff
talking
out
about animated shit.
Yes. So
We're doing top
there. Your
three.
favorite.
we're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
top,
we're
three,
top three favorites of all
and
time.
we can throw in some honorable mentions in there. Correct?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well.
What? No, it's not a secret.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, this fucking goblin in the corner of the room's talking to me.
I'm one of your most loyal fans. Fuck you
Not
guys.
you. I was saying, Casey, we told you you could be in here if you were quiet.
I'm sorry.
Goblin.
There is No.
Sorry, Luke.
This is
You probably don't know what's going on right now, so sorry.
It is
Suffice
okay.
to say, there's some MTV drama going on.
I hate this so much. Okay.
Sam, if you're listening, MTV drama.
Sam, it's your next great meme. Find the format. You got it.
all structure
God.
has been broken in this entire episode.
That's okay.
Don't worry, the goblin's not going to talk anymore. He knows his place.
Oh my god.
What the hell is going on? I'm broken.
Oh hey, our poll, a body won out on our poll, by the way.
Oh, nice.
So it was a body, like I had originally said.
Mhm.
TV drama. Okay.
Two rules about Mind Over Movies. Don't bring that MTV drama. Don't talk if you're a goblin. Two rules.
Hold up.
So what you got for us?
Okay, I'm collecting myself. I'm ready.
You're good.
Alright. So, actually, before we get into my first pick, I
Oh
do
my
have an
God.
honorable mention I want to bring up.
Whoa, yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't think
Let's
this is
do it.
on either or any of your lists, because I'm not entirely sure which of you have seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But an animated movie that I got the opportunity to see in college that I really, really loved purely because just the wonder of it all is Loving Vincent.
Mm.
Oh,
Loving
yeah.
Vincent is, if you haven't heard of it, it's an animated movie about Vincent van Gogh's life and specifically his death,
It's an
all animated in his art style.
Yeah.
And it's
Woo!
stunning. Every single frame is a fucking painting and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely highly rate watching that movie if you're at all interested in animation or art or just Vincent van Gogh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely a
I've
solid
heard of
pick.
it. I've seen clips from it. I just haven't watched the whole thing. I've heard
Mhm.
it's good though.
Okay, good. Yeah. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But I would definitely need to see it again. I haven't seen it recently, so honorable mention. But for my first pick, I'm gonna have to give it to Your Name. I want to get the anime movie that I had on my list off right off the bat.
Isaac's a great name, but let's get into the movie.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, Your Name is a anime movie about this boy and girl, but it's kind of like a Freaky Friday situation where they're body swapping,
Gotcha.
and it's like one half romantic comedy and second half insane, like
Depressing
high action
spaghetti.
drama. Yes, depressing climax that I don't want to give away or spoil what it's
please
about
don't.
to you. So yes, if you want to get into anime movies, my highest recommendation besides anything Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, because there are some high value classics in there, is Your Name. Your Name is definitely one that I would recommend you start with if you want to get out of the Studio Ghibli life, or just if you want a good animated movie.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, stunning, and I love it so much.
I will say, as a non-anime watcher, or just getting into anime, perhaps, I think Studio Ghibli is the jumping off point for basically anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it should be, honestly.
It was for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's definitely the shallows that you can just dip your toe into, and then you'll
But
find
it's
yourself.
good.
It's so good. No, yeah,
Yes.
you'll find yourself wanting to just dive in. So, yeah, definitely any Studio Ghibli films I would recommend would be the starting off point for if you're trying to get into anime.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though I don't watch anime, just saying, that's my starting off point.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't watch. I'm not a weeb. That's my starting point. I don't mess
turning
with
you
those
into one,
idiots.
I'm just saying, I tried watching several other things before, and then that didn't do it for me until I watched Studio Ghibli.
Got you. Well,
That's all I was trying to say.
Well, I mean, Studio Ghibli has some really fucking good movies to jump into. Like, definitely some solid contenders for anybody's top 3 or top 10.
Right. Spoilers.
Yes. All right, Casey. What do you got for us? It's your turn now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
We're going
it's your turn.
around.
What
Oh,
What
did
okay.
you think we were doing?
I'm normie. So
Animated.
I'm just gonna go ahead and start off my list with speaking of Ghibli, I'll just go ahead and throw Spirited Away out there.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoot me, tie me down with bricks, drown me in a lake. I didn't expect
that
to.
Poor Casey.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to like Spirited Away. I didn't expect to be able to get into like the anime, into that art style of animation, because I've tried a couple things before and it just wasn't doing it for me. And then I finally I was like, you know what, Spirited Away, I've heard so much about it. I'm either this is how I'll be able to tell if I can even get into anime with Spirited Away.
Right.
Because if I watch it and people have hyped it up for me too much and it just a letdown for me, then I'm like, okay, anime's probably not for me. But if I hear all this hype and I watch it and it holds up, then I'll be like, okay, well then I'm gonna dive deeper. And I did watch it, and it did like exceed every expectation I had for it, which was awesome. And it's a beautiful movie. I think the best thing about the movie, besides its animation and its wonderful, like dreamlike, plot or characters, not plot threads, characters are so, wild, is its soundtrack. Its soundtrack, just like by the end of the movie, you just immediately want to rewatch it again. You know what I'm saying? Like she, and also I watched the dubbed version. I'm normally not a dubbed version kind of guy. I will always watch subbed. It's just a preference. I just normally fucking hate dubbed. But Disney supervised the dubbed versions of the Studio Ghibli films, and they are fucking perfect. Like,
yes,
I started watching it and it was just auto set to dubbed, and I thought, this is weird. And I'm like, did they like outsource American actors to do their? I was like, that can't be. And I looked and it was dubbed, and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, should I watch subbed? And I was like, no, it's too good.
yeah, it's too good.
The voice acting is so good that I didn't mind watching it dubbed. So yeah, I watched it dubbed, and man, it's just a fucking masterpiece. I can't describe. If anybody, I'm sure there's nobody left that hasn't seen it, almost at least. But if you haven't, please watch Spirited Away. It is I wish I would have watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It was, I did watch it as a kid a couple times at a babysitter's house, but I barely remembered it until I decided to get back into anime when I was like 13, 14. And I rewatched that movie and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes. And
it hits different, definitely.
It does.
For sure.
And that's a very special movie to Natalie and I, because it was the first anime movie we watched together.
Oh,
and
nice.
my first viewing of it, too. Because
Oh.
Natalie was super into it. And
Dope.
when she was telling me about it, I was like, I've been meaning to watch this for years. Like, as a kid, I wanted to watch it, but my grandparents thought it was too scary. And they were the ones that let me watch Jaws at that same age. So I don't understand that. But got to watch it with Natalie for the first time, and oh man, it's so goddamn good.
It's magical.
Yes.
Is how I can describe it.
It's like a Wonderland, but not like Alice in Wonderland.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite version of the Alice in Wonderland variant is Spirited Away. Like truly,
Yes.
I think it's a better world than
Yeah.
that, and
More
a
well-rounded.
much more timeless story. Honestly, like I feel like Spirited Away has like just this forever appeal to it.
Right.
You know,
Surprised it has not been remade or something.
I feel like
I don't
that,
want it to be.
I don't
I
either.
don't either.
When
but-
Miyazaki dies, I feel like maybe another animator might take another venture into this world.
Right.
I don't know, and maybe with his blessing.
Yeah.
I could see that being a cool thing. Spirited Away is definitely maybe the first anime movie I ever saw, and I distinctly remember like the parents transforming into pigs, like being so scared of that as a kid.
That
like,
was
that
the
freaked me
one
out.
thing I remember. That, and then there was, for some reason, where he has the ball in his hand and he blows it and it turns into crystals. I remember that from a kid. But that's literally all I remember.
I love how that whole scene's just a metaphor for capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
They snuck that into a kid's movie, and I was like, okay, here we
Drag
go.
that system of economics. Drag it.
Drag it.
But yeah, that's my first. I don't really have an honorable mention. I don't think. Maybe. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything like right now off the top of my head. So you go.
That's okay. That's
you go, man.
So I'm gonna continue this tradition of anime movies that we're talking about right now. I was really tempted to pick Perfect Blue, which I still think is like a perfect movie and amazing. Satoshi Kon was one of the greatest animators while he was alive, and unfortunately he died much too soon in his life. But he, with Perfect Blue, he just creates this like perfect thriller with like amazing visuals. And later on he'd make Paprika, which a lot of people point out Inception takes a lot of inspiration from, and is just also, it's like so visually stunning and imaginative. Like those are very dream visual movies too. But I gotta go with like one of my favorite movies just in general, which is End of Evangelion, which if you are a fan of the series Neon Genesis Evangelion, this is basically the second ending that was devised for that series. The first ending the fans didn't like so much, and so this movie was made as a response in part to real life fan criticism, and also due to the budget restraints that held the original ending back. They were going like full out, and it's incredible. It's like one of the most emotional pieces of art ever, and it's about teenagers who get into robots to fight aliens, but it's so much better than that. Like Hideaki Anno, like famously throughout making Neon Genesis Evangelion, he struggled with depression, and a lot of what's in that show is just, you know, a broken man, like putting his heart and soul into his work, and it's incredible. Like the way that series transforms, and the movie is just a very satisfying conclusion to it, and also super bleak, but also really hopeful. I don't know how to describe it, but
oh man,
it's amazing. NGE Supremacy for Life.
Yes.
And Cowboy Bebop too, but I couldn't get into that today.
Well, this is an honorable mention because it's the only anime movie that I have on my list, but it's an honorable mention because I would say your name, but I didn't want to repeat that. So
Your name is great, by the way, too. I didn't gush on it, but fucking loved
Yeah.
it. Thank you for recommending it.
Oh yes, of course. Casey and I, and hopefully Luke will join in on us. Need to watch it together.
Yes,
because I want to get you.
Don't say Goblin's name. Don't give him that.
We just named the goblin in the corner of the room.
You know they say in the ritual you have to name the goblin and then put him in the circle, and then that will banish him. Say the goblin's name in the circle, he goes away.
God. Oh my goodness.
First
so
ever
trying
Mind
to
Over
remember.
Movies creature Wikipedia.
Well, anyway, the movie that I had on my list is A Silent Voice.
Oh,
have you
I've
seen
heard
it?
great things about it. I haven't seen it.
I fully recommend to watch it. But it's basically about this guy who bullied a deaf girl in elementary, and he grows up and goes into high school, and she's going to the same high school as him, and it's just basically him dealing with what he did in elementary, and like, you know, his anxiety with that, and like it, you know, it's a really beautiful way to explain like anxiety and any kind of like mental health into media, and it's really interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
That pause was immaculate.
I'm
Wow.
so
Yes.
sorry.
Definitely a solid movie that y'all need to watch too. Which
I
we
definitely
still
want to check
own.
it out. Oh, okay. It's on Netflix too. I think.
Yes, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
That helps a lot since y'all both have that.
Yes, it does.
But sorry.
Oh, sorry. I
Yes.
thought I didn't know what was. I just talked.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I had like a mental breakdown. Why did I say anything?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna segue into like one of my top 3 because none of them are anime, and I just wanted to go ahead and say the silent voice since we were talking about anime.
Gotcha.
But we're gonna start off by saying the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh, okay.
It's so recent but like I loved every second of it. It's so stylized and funny. Like one of the funniest movies I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it.
I still need to watch it.
was-
I've only heard praise though, for
Right.
real.
Mm-hmm.
I was on pain meds when I watched it, so I fell asleep for a great portion of it, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
Didn't see much.
It's definitely worth rewatching for real.
It
Yeah,
has so many pop
100%.
culture references.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes me
Plus.
worried that the humor may not surpass the test of time, but as it stands now, fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
We love movies for a particular age that don't age well. You know, like that's what's so endearing about so many like 80s movies. Is,
Right.
like they're so dated, but
Yeah.
it's okay if a movie dates. We think it's cool now.
Yeah.
That's all that
Oh, yeah.
matters.
And there's always going to be that resurgence in where that kind of humor is popular.
Eventually, all culture is dated, and
Yeah.
people go, "What the fuck did they even like?" Like Egyptians, I can't tell you why they thought all that wall art was so cool.
Their language? Hieroglyphics?
Let's just say hieroglyphics, kind of overrated.
Oh my god. Is that a hot take? I don't know.
Egyptian language? Dumb.
Oh my gosh.
No, what's up next for you?
Oh, yes, gotta go to my sequel. Or my number 2.
Sequel.
Sequel. Your Name 2's already out.
Oh man. And it's a fucking masterpiece, as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gosh, this is gonna be difficult. I think the next one I'm gonna talk about is How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great.
Yes.
You look like Hiccup. So
Do I really look like Hiccup?
Yeah,
You kind of
do.
do.
Is it just because I have long hair?
Well, the hiccup
Yeah.
in
No, their
number
face.
3.
number 3
Oh.
especially, yeah, you
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
beard
yeah, that's
Hiccup
right.
in the studio.
Oh man. Well, shit. Maybe I do look like
It's
Hiccup.
biased.
It's.
It looks like me.
He stole my style, guys.
Yeah.
But no, for real. Man, I remember watching How to Train Your Dragon in theaters, and
Yeah. Same.
when I remember going into it being like, oh, this is just gonna be another DreamWorks movie. It's gonna be goofy. It's gonna be kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting much from it because I literally was going in blind,
Mm-hmm.
and oh man, I was treated for some of the best music, some of the best 3D animation, and overall just such a heartwarming story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I love the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy as a whole, because I remember going to see that the third movie with y'all in theaters.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a lot of fun.
It
But
was.
the first movie has such a special place in my heart, especially after it literally stunned me and completely changed my view on animation for a majority of my life.
I also, it's weird. It's not one of like my favorites, but it's definitely up there. But I specifically remember seeing that movie in theaters all that time ago, and it's so weird that I remember the theater I was at. I remember the circumstances and everything, and I really enjoyed it. It's just one of those movies that has an impact on you. It's super
Right.
fucking good.
Yes.
Super good.
Absolutely. And although a lot of people I know a lot of people like the sequel more than the first movie. And I definitely want to make it clear I love the sequel too.
2 is great.
But the first one left so much more of an impact on me personally,
Yeah.
and completely changed my worldview on how I viewed movies.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
Wow, that's your awakening. That's your third eye
Yeah,
opening.
if I had to
I
pick
have
an
that.
awakening, it was
It's
definitely
How to
How to
Train
Train
Your
Your Dragon.
Mine was her. But
Oh man.
that was my movie awakening.
There you go, baby. That's nice. That's nice.
All right, Casey. What do you have next?
Second one's gonna be Rango.
Oh,
Everybody,
I didn't see this one coming.
None of my friends would see it coming, but I don't know if have we spoken about Rango on the podcast before?
Not too much. I think
All right.
you've mentioned that it's a 10 out of 10 movie.
Well,
for
let
you.
me get it out of the gate right now. 10 out of 10. Rango is a fucking masterpiece. I remember seeing this in theaters as well and wondering, like, how the hell they did like most of the animation stuff. Just it's a different type of animation, and it looks. I don't know if other people think this, but I think the animation of the movie looks so fucking good. I think it looks so pristine. The characters are all amazing. Also, it's a Western. Like, Western's my favorite genre. That movie is a hardcore, classic-ass Western, brother. And let me tell you, them fucking... That scene where they're on the fucking bats with the Gatling guns and shit. Like, just the movie's super imaginative. And also, you know, under all that, it's got, like, a super important message about self-identity. And it's a Western. I mean, come on. If you don't like Rango, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I love Rango. Like, that left such an impression on me as a child. It's definitely my top 3 animated movies of all time.
Dang.
I will watch that movie endlessly. I think it's so. I'm due for a rewatching. It's been a minute since I watched it. And I think y'all hadn't seen it or something before. You watched it at my house.
I hadn't watched it before, but yeah, I watched it for the first time in a large group. I remember.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about it?
I really liked
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Well.
Well,
He says, well.
I had something in my brain and it was just like, whew, and it was gone.
it was lost.
But yeah, I remember watching Rango. I watched it with you when it was your first time, Isaac. And I think that may have been... Was that at your house?
Yeah,
that was at
house.
Okay, so yeah, that was the last time we watched Rango. And before then, the last time I saw it was when it came out in theaters. And I remember loving it in theaters and then getting a whole new appreciation for it when we watched it at your place.
It's a great it's a great movie to revisit if you haven't seen it since you were a child.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah.
Because it'll shock you. Definitely my favorite
Yeah.
Western of all time, honestly.
Rango.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I kind of have another honorable mention. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little too many animated movies.
That's okay.
I love the work of Brad Bird. Like, his Pixar
Yes.
movies are probably the best ones. Like, Incredibles and Ratatouille, I think, are just great. But I think in terms of his movies, I gotta say The Iron Giant is one that I almost like had in my top 3. It's just a really wonderful story. Like,
Timeless.
Underrated on release, you know, like box office disappointment, got really fucked over by the studio, but you can tell that's a movie where studio execs weren't standing over their shoulders the whole time, because it's wonderfully imaginative and original and just so funny and charming. But I gotta give my next slot to Coraline. I love Coraline so fucking much. I love the art form of stop motion. It's just such a fucking time-consuming craft. Like, the fact that people take the time to make feature-length stop-motion shit is incredible.
Yeah.
And Leica Studios is one of the best at it. I also love Aardman, the people who made Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit. But Coraline's just a wonderful story. I love that, like, Alice in Wonderland world kind of charm again, you know, with it. And just amazing visuals and the right amount of scary for kids.
Yes.
Like, you know, it keeps them hooked and shows them some stuff that they might be uncomfortable with, but they learn some good shit out of it and, you know, steal them.
Yeah, I haven't seen Coraline since I watched it in theaters.
Really?
Wow.
So
I
I
need
need
to
to
rewatch
rewatch
it.
because, like, speaking of stop motion from the same studio, I loved Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yes.
That
Kubo's
is
great.
a solid fucking adventure movie with so much heart, and it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Probably one of the most beautiful stop motion movies, especially in recent memory. Coraline directly up there, especially with its cinematography, from what I remember.
Paranorman doesn't get enough love either. Have you seen Paranorman?
I have
same
not
studio?
seen Paranorman, but I need to.
It's the middle child, and it didn't get any of the acclaim of the other two, but it's just as good.
Really?
I love Paranorman so much.
Okay, that's something I need to put on my watch list then.
It's a loving tribute to, like, 80s horror, and then also just, like, it's lovely. I love Paranorman.
Yes.
Natalie, what do you got cooked up?
Well, one of my top 3, my second one is Prince of Egypt.
Ooh.
So the music, oh my fucking god. It's like drugs for my brain when I listen to it.
Yes.
Drugs for my brain.
But, like, it is literally, I mean, I'm not really a Christian anymore, but, like, It's should I cut that out?
No. No, it was good.
I thought that was like a
Oh.
I don't want you to say that.
Oh, Natalie.
No, me neither, man. I've never heard it come up before, so
Right.
on podcast form. I'm not really Christian either. Hey, keep
Hey.
going.
Hey.
But anyway, it's just like it's a good like it's not only nostalgic for me, but I completely lost my train of thought.
It's
I'm
not
so
really
sorry.
nostalgic for you, but
It's yeah, I don't know. I lost it.
I'd say it's just a timeless movie because
It's
the
timeless.
story. I don't think you necessarily have to believe in the religion to enjoy
No.
the story of Prince of Egypt because
no.
it's so spectacular.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the animation
Right.
is just
Yeah.
so cool. I read somewhere that it took 2 years to animate the splitting of the sea.
Oh, I
Really?
bet.
Yes.
Because it's all hand animated on paper, animation paper. So
Whew.
it's
Buddy.
just insane. It was one of DreamWorks' last 2D movies, and that makes me really sad.
yeah,
But,
because it was their first 2D movie
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's like off the gate with the failure at the box
Mhm.
office.
Yeah.
Which is so
No, it
sad
was
because it
actually-
doesn't deserve
It did pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Or did it?
It was
really
Road
well?
to El Dorado that I think tanked and Sinbad, and then they were like, "Fuck this, we
Yeah.
out."
Oh, but I actually love Sinbad. I'm
Sinbad
sorry, I'm
is
talking
like-
out of turn, but like.
Totally an honorable mention too.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's my honorable mention. Sinbad.
Mhm.
Like I know that movie's flawed, but holy fuck.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, Prince of Egypt though. I
Yeah.
remember I saw that they showed it in one of the when I was in elementary school, one of our classes. They
Mhm.
put it on because I guess they didn't have anything better to do.
Right.
And I remember I was like, bro, hell
Yeah.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
soundtrack is fucking awesome.
Oh man, Hans Zimmer, top of his
Mhm.
fucking
Right.
game. in
Top
that.
of his fucking game, I
Well-
tell you.
God.
Peak '90s.
And you know
Yes.
that, like, I just those movies, right? And that's like period
Yeah.
in between the older animated movies and the 3D movies. It's like that one tiny piece of time, like
Mhm.
1998 to like 2004.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking
Um,
about. Yeah.
And it's just like another one of those is like The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And it's 2D and it's it's so good. That's one of my honorable mentions.
There you go.
It's interesting that you mentioned that time period because the 98 to the early 2000s period is a really transformative time for Disney and animation in general because people are trying to make up their minds if they want to go with 3D animation like Pixar's doing
Yeah.
and stuff,
Right.
or if they want to stay 2D. And I think now we have a pretty good balance of like there is worth in both,
Yeah.
you know, but that period, you know, creative gears were turning for 2D and 3D.
Yeah.
So the animated game in the late 90s, early 2000s was at its like top form, in my
Right,
opinion,
me too.
for getting like classics out.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's I find that super interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, or Prince of Egypt is a direct product of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Definitely one of the movies that I was really wanting to talk about, but Natalie claimed it first.
Sorry.
No, it's
fair.
it was brought up because it is a fantastic fucking movie.
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous. Mwah.
Well, what's your third one?
Okay, so I had to go with a different one because you took Prince of
Thief.
Egypt from
You
me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, because this movie's also really fucking good. I'm gonna have to go with Mulan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The first princess movie that I loved as a kid, and definitely one of the awakenings in my life that, oh man, strong women, yes.
Yeah.
Hell fucking
She's
yes.
the best. I love her.
Yes, I was I was 3 years old being like, fuck yeah, women!
Simping
Yeah.
for
Maybe.
Mulan. No.
Oh my god. But yes, my third movie, definitely have to go with Mulan.
Right.
Left a huge impression on me as a kid, and still a solid fucking animated movie.
Yeah.
And
Fantastic soundtrack. That one.
yes, oh man, I would. You gave me a nickel every time I said that. I would have a lot of money.
Yeah. What? Like, I mean, obviously the big choice is like, We'll Make a Man Out of You, which is a fantastic song. But then, oh my god, I just love Leah Salonga, the woman who sings for Mulan and Jasmine.
Yes.
She's just got such a clear voice, and Reflection, I think, is the most beautiful, like self-reflection song put to screens, like in any musical ever. I love that song. That's just one of my favorite songs in general. I love. Goddamn, that's just simping for it right now. I love that.
And on top of that, the animated sequence where she's going to her like ancestral like temple area where they go and pray, and then like cuts her hair. Like,
copyright.
That's one of the best like endings to a first act ever.
Yeah,
it's such a beautiful fucking sequence.
I haven't watched it since I was real little, so I can't really.
You gotta get into that shit, boy.
I do remember the soundtrack though. "We'll Make a Man Out of You." That song,
Yeah.
I do know that song. And I do remember it when I was younger, and it having a pretty big impression on me because I still remember scenes from it. You know,
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it recently, but I need to, especially since I just did the live action one and it disappointed. So I need to watch the original.
It was
Tribute.
real weird.
Yeah.
One last honorable mention, just to get it out of the way,
Yeah.
because it's my personal favorite Disney princess movie. Because as guys, you can like those, of course.
We all have one. I don't care who you are.
If you don't, then we don't want to talk to you.
Goodbye.
See you later. But Tangled is my personal favorite Disney princess movie. Mulan left more of an impact, and definitely still an amazing movie. But as far as Tangled is concerned, it's such a comfort movie for me that I literally wanted to watch it on my 21st birthday. So I was like, I don't care that I can drink. I want to fucking watch Tangled.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's wonderful.
So for my number one pick, you already know what it is, baby. It's Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Monsters Incorporated, brother.
Man, this is getting the edge of copyrighted material here.
I can't help it. I literally have to sing.
I have to.
You has to.
It's the third rule of the podcast. The first two go best on sound. We don't want to get into all that right now.
Monsters Inc. I watched that. Oh God, probably when it had just first came out when I was younger, and then I just never stopped watching it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Such a fucking incredible premise for a kids movie. The thing that I love about early Pixar is that they were so imaginative. Just think about this concept as like somebody coming in and giving you a pitch, right? They're like, okay, they're monsters that go through doors to your closet to scare people, and they get screams are the energy that they use to fuel their world. That is so fucking genius. And when they did it, they just blew it. They fucking hit it out of the park. The characters, fucking, the voice actors they got for the monsters, and even the animation was fucking amazing. Animating hair in movies is something that's, a lot of the times hit or miss, and it looks weird. But Sully's fur, I think, is just fucking so cool how they did that.
Yeah.
And just the story is just, it's a 10 out of 10. I used to watch a movie every night before I went to sleep. I've got almost every scene memorized. You just can't take that away from me. That's one of my, that and The Dark Knight are tied for my favorite movie of all time.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
Monsters Inc. A special place in my heart. I think it's a masterpiece. I didn't like Monsters University as much, obviously.
It didn't seem all that great.
It didn't seem all that great, but I don't know. Monsters Inc. is just, I think it's one of the best Pixar films ever made. At least in the top 3. I think Pete Docter is my go-to Pixar director.
Yes. Always good.
And that's something too that is, oh man, I love Monsters Inc. too.
Yeah.
That's definitely was going to be a honorable mention, but I knew you would say it.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite of all time.
That's the first movie I ever remember being in the theater.
Me
and
too.
seeing.
Really?
Me too.
First one ever.
My first one I ever remember being in was Finding Nemo, actually.
Really?
Me too. Yeah.
Me
Okay.
too? Yeah.
I was like 2 and 2.
Hey, we got the teams. Now we got to fight.
Fight to the death. God.
Man, Monsters Inc. is a tough act to follow. I do want to mention this movie one more time. Mulan. This was a real struggle for me to pick my favorite Disney movie. Mulan is very special to me because my brother watches it all of the time. He's severely autistic, and this is something that he quotes from all the time. People will be like, "How are you?" And he'll be like, "I am the great stone dragon." All this stuff holds a sentimental place in my heart. But I think I gotta go with the movie that I can just like turn on it by myself at any given moment and watch all the way through and love it again. I love The Lion King. I think that is my favorite Disney movie. Like, obviously, maybe the best opening to any movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
With Circle of Life. And then, on top of that, the rest of the soundtrack, by Elton John and Tim Rice is fantastic, amazing. I mean, some of the songs, I don't even love all that much listening to these days, but I love them because they're in the movie. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah.
Kind of a hokey song, and that sequence is kind of weird, but I love it because it's in The Lion King. It's like, you belong here. You were always made in that material.
Right.
I think one of the great things about The Lion King is the performances by people in it. Jeremy Irons is fucking killing it as Scar. That's my favorite Disney villain for that reason, is his voice. And then, of course, you have the, like, incomparable James Earl Jones as Mufasa. And it's amazing. He's like, Simba.
Boom.
Can't do it.
Simba.
No one can do it, but him.
Nobody can do it.
He's
but
amazing.
Simba.
It's just like beautiful animation and wonderful score. It baffles me that anyone ever saw this movie and was like, "Let's remake it." Like, that's beyond comprehension for me because it's already perfect as it is.
Yeah.
And literally remake it, but just in CGI. They don't change anything about it.
Here's my fun production fact. Do you know the wildebeest sequence? Like where Mufasa,
you know, he kind of fucking dies.
Hey, no, Casey. There are 4 rules to the podcast.
We have added the 4th rule.
And we don't get into that first one.
Okay.
None of that drama of that variety. You know the one. You know the one.
And this entire episode we've been breaking.
I'm losing it.
Oh my face is so red. Oh my
The wildebeest sequence.
Yes.
Took 2 or 3 years to animate, which is
For
insane.
the original?
Yeah, because it was one of the first uses of computer animation in a 2D animated movie. And so they just had like 3 guys work on that for 2 years, and everyone else did the rest of the movie.
Imagine being those guys.
Oh man, imagine just sitting there being like, I'm gonna lose my job.
And also, my other favorite fun fact about this movie is that it was not the one Disney was betting on. This was their Plan B movie.
Oh.
Their one that they were hoping was going to be really successful, and they put all their main crew and their main budget into was Pocahontas. They really thought that was going to be the hit, and they diverted their main resources towards it. So Lion King had a lot more freedom and creative control, and a lot of people theorized that's why it's so much better than a lot of the other Disney movies in the era, is it's the one that the people working on it, got a lot more to do with.
Yeah.
And
they got to take it to places that
they got to
didn't want to do.
William Shakespeare. They did Hamlet in lion form.
Yeah.
Incredible.
True. 30 animators on The Lion King.
Just for the wildebeest sequence, they had 30 dudes working on that for years.
Man.
Thank you, Goblin.
Thank you, Goblin.
Goblin, we do not speak well of you, or very much of you, but
this time it is allowed.
No. Little praise.
Okay, God, we're breaking some rules. Guys.
Sorry, breaking rules again. Sorry.
We don't want to talk about.
Natalie, what's yours?
Okay, well, my all-time favorite is Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron.
Really? You're a horse girl. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
Okay, but bringing up my shameful past here. Not like I used to think I was a horse. Okay, no. But for real, I used to watch this movie every single day.
I mean, I remember watching it a lot too.
Yeah.
In school and stuff.
I would watch it every single day from the span of being like 3 until I was like 7 or 8. Like every single day.
Wow.
Without beat. And it's so good. It's like the music, first of all, if we've been talking about a lot of music here, but Bryan Adams and Hans Zimmer,
Yes.
like Oh my
Hans
god.
Zimmer. Hans Zimmer in animation. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
It's just the most. I cry every time I listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And but like Bryan Adams kills it. It was like,
Mhm.
get off of my back and into my gate. It's so
Yes.
good. It's so good.
Copyright.
the soundtrack. I've never
I'm sorry.
seen that. I think Matt Damon's the horse.
He is.
He is the horse.
Wait, Matt Damon voices the horse?
Yes.
The horse talks in spirit?
Okay, no, he doesn't.
Voiceover. It's tasteful.
No.
It's literally just
Spirit doesn't
narration.
speak. It's
Oh, it's
like
the voiceover, okay.
it's like narration almost.
Okay.
and it's-
Okay.
Yeah, the
I
narrator
forget.
is talking as if he is the horse, like, and then it's Matt Damon.
Matt Damon doing that shit for 2 hours.
Sorry.
Nay.
Something I really like.
Motherfucker. Nay.
Y'all, I am trying to listen to Natalie's insightful conversation about spirit.
Natalie, please take back the floor. I'm
Ugh.
sorry.
One of my favorite things about that movie is that it doesn't make the cowboy the good guy.
Yes.
True.
Bad
I
boy.
love it so much
The
because of
good
that.
guys are the natives.
Yeah.
There we go.
And just the
There
parallels.
we go.
The parallels between him and Little Creek is just, it's like the entire theme of the movie.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they respect each other as differences, like brothers, but different, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so good. So good.
Yeah.
And it was, Spirit was animated by James Baxter.
Yes.
And he animates on a lot of really great movies like Hunchback of Notre Dame and El Dorado and
shit.
what was the other one? Prince of Egypt. Like
What?
things we've talked about today.
Yep.
So good.
Yes. James Baxter is such a fantastic fucking animator, and he's still like kicking around today. He did stuff on How to Train Your Dragon 2,
Oh wow.
and like he's so goddamn talented. And also, you have any of you guys seen Adventure Time?
I'm like on season 4. I've never seen
Okay.
it. all the
I
way
just
through.
watch it here and then. but I
Okay,
like
cool. There's a whole bit in that movie, the horse, James Baxter, that's also animated by him.
Hmm.
Yes,
Interesting.
if you've seen the James Baxter, have you seen that?
I don't think I've seen that.
You don't think I've seen that? Okay, well, there's the whole bit. For you.
Wow. Thank you.
That's the
In
whole
the
bit.
future, that's really going to
Yes.
pay off.
Yes, and also there's the joke. If it spins and makes you cry, it's animated by James Baxter.
Yeah, basically.
Because Hunchback of Notre Dame, Sleeping Beauty. Oh man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever like learned the names of American animators that I enjoy in 2D, which is weird because I know 3D animators like John Lasseter,
Mhm.
and I know like anime animators like Hayao Miyazaki and Satoshi Kon, but like I guess 2D animators don't get talked about all that much. Like their names don't get thrown around as much as
Yeah.
they should be, probably.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's hard to get into the auteur theory here, but it's easy to place one name to like a live action movie, right? Like a director, but animated movies, you just know that there was more than one person actually animating the movies, and to
Right.
be a director of an animated project it means a completely different thing than to be a director of live action.
Right.
So it's harder for people to associate names with movies. That's why John Lasseter is such a fucking, outlier.
right.
Because, he basically pioneered. I read a whole book on John Lasseter for a Disney course. And so I could tell you all about John Lasseter, but I can't tell you shit about anybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just harder for the auteur theory to work in animation. That's really what I'm saying. But yeah.
Those are some solid picks, guys.
Yes.
I don't know.
If the goblin could get an honorable mention.
My
what's
God.
Okay, all right, guys.
All right,
Let's hear him
Goblin.
out. Let's hear the goblin out.
Tarzan.
Tarzan. It's what he said.
Okay, yeah, Tarzan.
Tarzan's great.
The soundtrack.
The soundtrack alone is Tarzan.
yeah, true.
Fuck
Yeah, Goblin can have that.
We may allow it this once. No, I do like. I remember watching Tarzan a lot. When I was
Yes.
younger.
I
Tarzan's
haven't
great.
seen it as much, so I don't know much about it.
I definitely
So-
need to rewatch
It's
it.
it's really good, but guys, can we have a conference real
Yes.
quick?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking to the goblin a lot, and also I'm starting to get worried.
Nice.
What the fuck are you guys just gonna start bringing that goddamn MTV drama? Do not bring that. Number one rule of the podcast. What was our podcast founded on, Casey? Tell me. Tell me the rules.
No MTV drama.
No.
no spoilers. And no talking to the goblin.
You know, while I'm thinking about it, though, I rewatched Cars the other day.
Oh.
And, but something we were talking about is Cars stole the premise from Spirit.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, it did.
So, like, Lightning McQueen and Spirit are all, like, thrown into a wacky situation.
They're in the
like,
Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So wacky.
There's the horse that goes Kajiga, Kajiga.
But, like, you know, he gets thrown into this, like, world he had no clue existed, and then, you know, they try to save him, but they can't, and the protagonist ends up falling in love with where they're at, and they're torn between the two. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yes.
Except with Cars.
Well, here's the thing. Spirit was DreamWorks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
DreamWorks and Disney, you know, they
Yeah.
were boom, boom, clashing heads, Jeffrey Katzenberg, all that shit. So that's probably why. They probably just stole that shit.
Yeah. They're just stealing from each other.
Even though, like, apparently, okay, so here's the weird thing. John Lasseter, his most personal movie, the last ones he directed, were the Cars franchise. And that was the one that was most personal to him because him and his father used to work on Cars together.
Right.
So he's like, I'm going to apply this to an animated movie. Ended up being the worst fucking one.
Yeah.
So it's like, how does that translate? You know,
Right.
he puts his heart and soul to this project, and nobody fucking. Cars is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Hey,
It turns out if
Pun
you
included,
like
intended,
sexually
yeah.
harassing your female coworkers, maybe
Yeah.
you're not all
Yeah.
that
you're not all that
interesting.
interesting.
That's
Just kidding, that didn't happen. His career ended in 2006. It's fine.
Yeah, there
It's
was never-
fine.
He never did anything
He
wrong.
never did anything wrong. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, it's crazy that he died. He is gone now.
Yeah, it's
He
crazy.
did.
He died in
He
an
did.
unfortunate car accident.
Oh my gosh.
ironic, really.
Ironic, really.
Well, guys, we've recorded for a really long time. Actually, I think this is our first like full on feature length episode of Mind Over Movies, which is fantastic. Because I mean, if there was a way we were going to do it, had to be with the Kolb cast,
or special
couples
guests.
react,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
Jacob and Natalie, do you guys have anything you want to like plug or anything you want to mention?
Yeah.
Projects going on?
Yeah. Biggest thing is Crimes with Good Intentions.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
That's grilled on
Sorry.
every week.
Every day.
It's
Yeah.
coming.
It's
One-
coming.
Promise.
Promise.
One day it's coming. But-
We're on Brown Table, the YouTube
Yeah.
channel Brown Table.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Brown Table's
Um,
fucking awesome.
Yes.
Great
Love their
channel,
content.
Mm.
Stan Marusio.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
Yes.
king.
Also on Brown Table, we're in an anime. We're voicing in it. It's called
Yes.
Interstellar Ranger Commits. There's 2 trailers out. It's on the Brown Table channel. Go watch it.
Yes.
Yeah, just
They're
want to say
awesome.
I would love to do an interview episode with you guys specifically talking about that because like
Yeah.
that's gotta be
Yes.
crazy making animated content. That's just
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah. I also too. I think it'd be really cool to ask you guys about because I don't know jack shit about voice acting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're definitely new to it too, but we're very excited for IRC to come out because I've always wanted to play a villain role, and I
Yeah.
get to do it in probably the best form that I personally enjoy,
yeah.
in an animation voiceover way.
Awesome.
So I'm very, very excited about
My
that.
character is the big titty tech girl who likes
Nice.
to blow shit up.
Big titty tech girl, love it.
we stand Jazz Olsen.
Oh, and to
Olsen.
clarify,
Is it Olsen? No, wait.
Owens.
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 Shit.
no.
Even I say that.
fake fan.
I know the lore.
Hey,
Yeah, no, the
fake fan
lore.
of a show that's not out yet.
What? Your character's like Batman?
Yeah, I just want to mention that the name of the show that Jacob and Natalie are going to be in is Interstellar Ranger Commence. That's what IRC stands for. It's coming out in April 2022.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, we don't have to
Yeah.
wait much longer.
No,
Yeah.
Not too much
less
longer.
than a
Because
year.
I remember last year when you were
This
telling me
year's
about
gonna
that.
We've
fly
been on
by.
this project for like, 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years. Like
yeah.
around Christmas will be 3.
Yeah,
Wow.
we it's really funny. Back when before Natalie and I were married, we actually auditioned to be in the show, got casted in it, and then the night that Natalie found out that she was casted in it,
Mm-hmm.
I proposed to her.
Yeah, weird coincidence there.
Yep.
Uh,
IRC is has been a major part of our lives, and now we're sitting here married and really excited that the show is on the horizon.
Oh,
God
we're
dang,
also
what
kind of
a-
helping with like concepts in season 2.
There you go.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're in the writer's
awesome.
room. Wow.
Yeah, just a little
Kinda. We're
Okay.
Who writes it all? Is it Mauricio that writes it all?
And,
Yeah.
Mauricio.
You know, we've been critiquing
That's
a little
crazy.
bit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Offering
that's-
ideas.
That's cool.
That's
Yes.
that's great that you guys are. I mean, just out there making stuff. Like truly, I love that you are content creating and just going for it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So yeah, stay tuned for that and episode 2 of Couple Reacts, where we react to the masterpiece Shrek 2.
Fuck yeah, that's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming very soon, probably around the same time this podcast episode airs.
Okay.
And so stay vigilant for that.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's about
And
it.
That's about it. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, plug your Twitters real quick. What are your Twitter?
At Jacob Kolb, Jacob Kolb VA on Twitter. And
I'm Natalie Kolb,
Yeah.
VA. Yeah, same
okay,
thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you can find their Twitters and ours, Mind Over Movies 2, because we couldn't get the first one.
Yeah, we couldn't get Mind Over Movies 1, but whatever.
And thank you. Well, I've been Isaac.
And I've been Casey.
I've been Jacob.
And I've been Natalie.
And anyway, here's what the Kolbcast would sound like if a meteor was about to strike the world and kill everyone that they knew and loved.
Dearly. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's
God.
been nice talking about movies with y'all. It's nice to know I'll die in the room with my friends.
Very good.
I'm gonna call my mom.
You're gonna call your mom?
Yeah,
I'm
who
just
you
gonna.
calling?
I'm gonna sit here and